everybody. We are back. College football starts this week. We are talking top prospects to watch, guys you need to know about, biggest games. We're going to pick our favorite players of the week. You know, it's going to be a weekly segment where maybe not necessarily the stars, but guys we think are going to dominate when it comes to stats. Joining me, my man Ryan Reese at Philly Sports Alliance. What's going on, dude?
Not much, man. I am so pumped for college football season to start. I feel like when it comes to football, like I have it, in the off season, I have it like tucked away and put away in this faraway place. And when I realized that Saturday was the first games, I mean, I got a bolt of energy. I was so excited. It's 2 games on Saturday. I cannot wait to watch them. I'm gonna have that on all day. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
Yeah, this is like the appetizer before like week 1. Let's jump right in. I've got some graphics here. But the games we're going to be talking about before the following week, USC versus, I believe that's San Jose State.
Yep.
You've got Navy versus Notre Dame. And we're going to talk about Thursday's matchup between the Florida Gators and the Utah Utes. Those are our big 3 here. We're talking who we think are the top prospects. I've got 3. Ryan's got 3. Ryan, lead us off. Who's a guy that you have on your radar?
Well, listen, when you have kind of a small sprinkling of games, there's generally not a lot to choose from. Honestly, I think when it comes to the overall landscape of college football, obviously quarterbacks, the Heisman race, it really does factor in from day one. So, I think you can't look at this and not say, you're not excited to look at Caleb Williams and start his Heisman campaign. I mean, he, again, wants to come out. He's playing a team where, he should be able to dominate in San Jose State. And they want to put up lots of points. He wants to put up lots of numbers. And, his wide receivers are going to absolute eat against that defense. And I fully expect him to come out and be the Heisman, leading candidate from day one, literally from day one for the entire season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, this offense is absolutely loaded. When you look at USC's defense, I think they're deeper offensively than last year. It's just an explosive offense. It really comes down to, I guess let's stick to USC since we're on the USC train here. But a guy that I'm really excited to watch is a guy named Kalen Bullock, is a safety prospect. Because we all know about this USC offense. They are really, truly dynamic. But I think USC only goes as far as their defense takes them. That was their weakest link in 2022. The Trojans allowed nearly 5 yards per carry 8 times, 8 different games last season. They were the 8th worst in the FBS in yards per play allowed. They were not good, man. So in comes a lot of transfers, especially a guy that's non-draft eligible. That's another show, but his name is Bear Alexander, a transfer from Georgia, defensive tackle. He's a monster. But let's talk about Kalen Bullock, who I think has really strong day 2 vibes with upside to be a first rounder. One of my top safeties in the class. He had 5 interceptions last year. That tied for 5th among all FBS safeties. He's just a center fielder. He was a former wide receiver, and it shows. He's got really good size, 6'3", very good athleticism, explosive athlete, really good deep speed and range. So Kalen Bullock is a guy that I think should be on all, guys like us, especially Eagles prospects that could fit. Maybe next day Reed Blankenship or Sidney Brown down the road. I don't know. But that's a guy that I really like. So make sure you keep an eye out for Kalen Bullock because he's low-key one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. He's definitely growing as one of my favorite safety prospects for sure. And I believe when we did our first mock draft, I did scoop him up in the late seconds. So I was again, all I could say was the value at that point. It was kind of later in the second. So yeah, this guy is absolutely going to lead this defense, and where he goes, this Trojan team will go. You know, obviously all the hype around the offense, but yeah, you're absolutely right. This defense, when it is locked in, will absolutely make this Trojan team, you know, something to be feared around the college football landscape.
I fully agree. Who is another one of your guys? Should we move on from USC or should we?
Yeah, I was going to say we can come back to USC because I do have another guy certainly. But yeah, I think you know, just looking at the overall for me, I actually am looking at that Utah game and Cam Rising. You know, this guy's definitely under the radar. He's going up against, you know, a pretty decent Florida, you know, defensive backfield with certainly some, you know, good names out there, you know, on that Florida team. But I just kind of think he is a little, you know, undervalued, underlooked, and I think he can easily come out, you know, this first game and really kind of cement himself in this, you know, quarterback kind of shuffle, as this always happens, you know, in the beginning of the college football season, and kind of really show out. Because I think if he can have a strong performance, you know, it's he doesn't have a lot of help. So you know, again, it would all the credit would really be on Cam here, and he'd be going up against, you know, a pretty decent opponent in Florida with their defensive backfield. So again, I just kind of feel like this is a perfect moment for him to really kind of say, "Hey, listen, 2023, let's, you know my name, Cam Rising," and
Yeah,
I fully expect him to be rising up some draft boards to start this season really early.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I like him. I think he's like a jack of all trades guy. He's not great at anything, but he's good, and he's a winning quarterback.
right.
He's a legend for Utah. I did not have him on my top 10 quarterback list.
No,
Uh,
no,
I,
neither did
I think he's a definite better prospect than Sam Hartman for Notre Dame. I will give you that. At least I think Cam can like give you a little bit of everything. And I think I wrote that in there. Like he's a well balanced quarterback prospect. But the guy for Utah that I really like, that I think everyone should know about, is a really intriguing dude. His name is Cole Bishop. He's a safety prospect, really good size at 6'2", led the Utes in tackles last year, as well as tackles for loss. He only had one interception, but this guy is all over the football field, like Cam Rising. He's just really well balanced. He can do it all. He can line up from everywhere, single high, two high, line of scrimmage, play in the box. And that, you know, we've kind of seen a trend of those kind of guys in the NFL lately. These like Swiss Army knives, like Sidney Brown and Brian Branch, and those guys definitely have a role. Again, great size, 205 pounds, fits the modern NFL clearly. And I've got a day 2 grade on him. So yeah, I would love the Eagles to jump all over this dude. So that is a little bit about Cole Bishop. I'm excited to see what he's got there. Florida doesn't really have any like major threats at wide receiver. Not a lot of playmakers there. So he's not necessarily going to be tested. And that's really what I want to kind of mold this show into when it comes to, you know, when we get to next week's show and we're breaking down matchup versus matchup, because we already have some that I can't wait to talk about. But Cole Bishop, definitely a guy to know.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I think he's kind of on that borderline of day 2, day 3. You know, kind of like the way he is, kind of a tweener, little, you know, jackknife type, you know, player there. But I think again, you know, I fully believe that the early games really can kind of set the tone for the college football season, and I feel like it happens a lot more in the college game than the pro game for sure. It just really kind of sets the table and really kind of gives you know, a nice season for these players when they start off with a solid performance.
Yep. I absolutely agree. Who's another guy on your radar?
So I am going to go back. Unfortunately, and it's listen. I just think it's an easy kind of again, given the fact that they're focusing on these three games, with Mario Williams, USC. I mean, listen, you have Singer, you have Williams. I think I'm just feeling the Mario Williams and Caleb Williams connection here against San Diego State. I just truly believe that they are going to absolutely eat against this defense, and both of them are going to come out of this game, already being talked about as the best 1-2, quarterback wide receiver combo in the nation. He absolutely is so just he has this burst and just is able to kind of just get away from defenders and has extremely great tracking ability. I just again want to see that kind of next level in him, and I hope this starts with an easier opponent for him in San Diego State. But yeah, I truly think the Williams connection is going to go off on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's primarily a slot guy, but great short area quickness. A guy that should have interest in the Eagles because Quez is definitely not going to come back, and could be a good one there. Probably a day 3 guy, I think, at this point, but a guy I like a lot. And I'm not picking him, but a guy that everybody should know is Dorian Singer, big time outside playmaker. Not an elite athlete, but he's coming from Arizona. He was one of the top transfers in the country this offseason. Expected to put up huge numbers with Caleb Williams, one of the best deep threats in the country. So that's a good one to know. I'm not even going to show my other one because I want to save it for the end for my player of the game pick. But let's go to that Florida versus Utah game one more time. Let's go there. I want to talk about a guy named Jason Marshall Jr. who just oozes upside. Really high ceiling guy that I like a lot. Jason Marshall Jr., 6'1", nearly 200 pounds. Had one interception and eight passes defended last year. I think one of the biggest breakout candidates in college football. Former 5-star recruit. He's one of those toolsy guys that I think will blow up at the upcoming combine, next December or whatever. Whenever that is. Great athlete, really amazing length and reach. Just a guy that can swallow smaller receivers, and he has that twitch that I really, really like. So Jason Marshall Jr. is definitely a guy to know. Definitely has vibes of a premier outside cornerback prospect. I think this guy has first-round potential. That's how good this guy is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when we originally did, kind of our conference by conference, we both had wonderful things to say about Marshall. And yeah, I think he is kind of one of those guys that's going to rise up and really be a known name nationally, in a short amount of time. Honestly, I think in a couple of short games, he's certainly going to make a name for himself here on the national scene. And yeah, I truly think he, at the end of the day, I think he'll be probably back end of the first round, potentially for the NFL draft in 2024.
Yeah, we won't have a lot of big tests against Utah. Again, they similar to Bishop. They don't really have anything else either. So he'll be there in that defensive backfield. I will add, I did forget, Graham Mertz is quarterback for Florida. He's pretty decent. He could give Cole Bishop some issues. We'll see. I don't know. But I did Marshall. I did Bishop. Who did I do a third one? I don't remember.
You did Bullock. You did Marshall, and then
is
that Bishop? Yeah. So yeah, that was your three, right?
All right.
Yeah.
So are we ready to do our player of the game predictions? Players of the week predictions.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's kind of an easy one for me. Um,
All right, I'm going to add this rule, and I have to tell you,
uh
just so you are aware, and I'm making it official tonight, is once you pick this guy, you cannot pick him the rest of the season. So this is it. If you go Caleb Williams, you're out with Caleb the rest of the year.
That curveball right here at the end. I feel like I shouldn't waste it, right?
Yeah, I probably because you have the whole college football playoff and stuff to save it. So I'd probably save it.
Yeah, I think I should save it. Oh man, that's man.
I'll go. All right.
Yeah, you go first. Now that
Right.
I'm gonna rethink my life.
I'm going to go Marshawn Lloyd. He's the running back for USC. You look at the competition. I could easily see kind of Caleb having an easy test in this weekend. So Marshawn Lloyd is a really solid running back prospect. He was a 5-star recruit. He missed his first year in South Carolina due to a torn ACL, returned from injury as a backup in 2021, then took over a starter role his sophomore year in 2022. The end of last year, he decided to transfer to USC, I believe, from South Carolina. I could be wrong. But he's a playmaker. He's a guy that will make you miss in the open field. He's a guy that can force a lot of missed tackles. So I'm going to go Marshawn Lloyd, and perhaps USC imposes their will on the ground rather than through the air in this weekend here. So give me Marshawn Lloyd, running back. So with that being said, I'll throw it to you.
Well, I kind of am gonna steal your thought process here.
Okay.
And I am gonna go with a running back from Notre Dame.
Nice.
Audric, and help me out here with the pronunciation. Estime?
I couldn't even tell you, man.
Yeah, Estime, Estime.
Okay, I love it.
Listen, Notre Dame again is not the Notre Dame we all kind of grew up on, but what they do have is a great offensive line, and I fully expect them to kind of dominate Navy. And listen, what better way than to run the ball down their throat? Audric is certainly a decent name in the running back class this year. Again, kind of lower down right now, but that's again just mostly because it's kind of deep, all around. So, yeah, I'm gonna say him, and with your crazy rule at the last second here, I'll go with that. I'll go ground. Let's go ground game first week.
It's a really good choice because Navy's defense is that's solid. Yeah. All right. Dual running backs going head to head. We'll keep track of this. We'll see who wins. We'll gather records, talk trash, all that fun stuff. Any other prospect names you want to throw out there before we wrap the show up?
I mean, listen. It's not a sexy thing. As I mentioned with Notre Dame, to talk about offensive linemen. But the offensive linemen, and most notably the tackles, obviously Joe Alt and Fisher, Blake Fisher. These guys are probably going to be the best bookends in the nation. Obviously, I think USC has some decent guys, but nobody's going to be that at the quality of Joe Alt and Blake Fisher coming in. And yeah, I think Joe Alt gets obviously most of the glory here on this line, being he's probably 1, 2, maybe 3, depending on how people see things, best tackle right now heading into the draft. But don't sleep on Blake Fisher. Again, if there was no Alt, he'd be kind of talked about a lot more, I think. He certainly has the ability to get himself into that, first round, second round talk. So I think, again, as you kind of mentioned there, he's coming off of an injury. Really kind of want to see, he's a full year removed from it. Let's see kind of, how he's able to kind of get back into full Blake Fisher ability here. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for that offensive line to dominate Navy, and Navy has a few good rushers. So it'll be a good smaller first test for Alt and Fisher, and hopefully that running back can win me the first week. Woo-hoo!
That's a great selection because I'm really happy you brought up Blake Fisher, because he's kind of people don't really talk about him. He kind of struggles.
I mean, Alt gets all the love. Like,
Yeah,
he is the top guy in the nation. 1, 2, 3, whatever. Like, I feel like there's a tier right there with Latham and Fashiono with Alt. And there's a little drop, and I think however you have it, he's still there. He's in that conversation. Could be the number one tackle taken off the board, and right there is another guy that's could potentially sneak into that first round. Like, he is that good. So yeah, Notre Dame, they at least got their bookends solid for this year. That's for sure.
and the really good news is, Notre Dame's schedule is pretty wild. Like, they go up against the Clemsons, the Ohio States, the USCs. Duke is really good. They have a game at Duke. Duke has Riley Leonard, a very good, underrated quarterback prospect to know. We'll get to, trust me, we'll get to Duke when it's time. But I'm glad you brought up Blake Fisher. Notre Dame also has a young kid to know, Benjamin Morrison. He's a cornerback. He's not eligible for this year, but he will be a top pick when he's draft eligible. And then again, another guy is Bear Alexander for USC. He's a really intriguing name, I think. So that about wraps it up here. Ryan, where can we find you, man? What's going on at Philly Sports Alliance?
You can find me apparently everywhere. Honestly, we do love and appreciate all the support for everybody that has Philly Sports Alliance. But yeah, you can check us out: Facebook, YouTube, all the normals. Best way is Facebook. Throw on those automatic notifications, because not only you're going to get all of the Philly Sports Alliance shows, you're going to get all of the Edge of Philly Sports shows. So everything that comes through Edge of Philly Sports, everything that comes through PSA, all filters right into our Facebook page. Put on the automatic notifications, so when we go live, doesn't matter what show it is, you will know about it right away. But normally Mondays, I got the Football Smack Talk show at 6. We're doing this now here at 9. We got the Birds of the Round Table tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm pretty sure I'm about to start up my other show, Philly Broadcast, at 7. So I'll do that, and then Wednesday we're doing Party on Broad, and yada. So my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is pretty booked solid. So listen, we appreciate all the love, and everybody, Edge of Philly Sports, appreciate the love from there. So please make sure you support them. Please make sure you support us. Follow this guy on Twitter or X or whatever the hell we're calling it now. And show the love for Philly and all the hard work this guy does, for sure.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Monday nights, 9 o'clock every week. We're going to be doing kind of like shortish shows, talking top prospects, everything we have learned the week before, previews the week ahead, top matchups to watch, probably rather heavy Eagles focus as well, because that's how we roll here. But I promise you, even if you're not an Eagles fan, it'll be a lot of fun. Wednesday is Party on Broad at 6. We will be breaking down, of course, everything Philadelphia Eagles, especially this week with a lot of roster movement going on. So that'll be a lot of fun. I do have another Party on Broad show this week, and that'll be breaking down prospects for the Philadelphia Flyers, numbers 11 through 15. That'll be dropping Friday. So triple Party on Broad this week.
Nice. Love it. Let's go. And by the way, I cannot wait to talk about Miles Jack retiring, right?
Oh, yeah. So exciting. He stinks. He stinks. He knew that Zach Cunningham had him.
Clearly, yeah. I was like, there's only one reason. He's like, I just don't have it, and this guy is so much better than me. So
Absolutely. I jumped on Fox Sports The Gambler a few hours ago. That was a lot of fun talking to Eagles and Jalen Carter and Tanner McKee. Go check out that interview, Fox Sports The Gambler. And then, of course, tomorrow night, Birds of the Round Table, breaking down everything Philadelphia. Busy week, man. This is a really crazy week. Thankfully, I don't have school, so I can I don't know.
I was gonna say that's starting up.
No, yeah. So I meant more so like I'm in like my postmasters program. That's like
that gotcha. Yeah.
I'm off for the next 2 weeks, but
hey, there you go. There's something.
Yeah. All right.
Better, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. He is Ryan Reese at Philly Sports PSI. I am Dives. We'll catch you next week on NFL Draft Weekly. That's what we're calling it, by the way. He is Ryan. I am Dives. Stay awesome, everyone.